All right, here's the first story. Ladies and gentlemen, this is massive. From timcast.com, Donald Trump announces Mar-a-Lago was raided by the FBI. The DOJ is currently investigating January 6th and alleged efforts to overturn the 2022 election. I know that timcast.com is officially NewsGuard certified, which is huge. It's good news, right? We'll talk about that later. But I also want to make sure we're just clear. The Hill is reporting definitively the FBI raids Trump's Mar-a-Lago. So while many outlets are saying Trump announces it's happened, there's at least the Hill saying it's definitive. I have another journalist who messaged me confirming through multiple sources, the FBI has raided Donald Trump's home. They say, or I should say, we say over at timcast.com. President Donald Trump announced the Federal Bureau of Investigation has raided his private real estate in Florida. Mar-a-Lago is, quote, currently under siege, raided and occupied by a large group of FBI agents, the former president said in a statement around 7 p.m. I mean, this is happening right when we're all excited. Larry's here. We're getting ready for the show. Lydia goes, the FBI is raiding Trump's house. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, well, this is going to be crazy. They say the purpose of the search was not immediately clear. Trump noted that agents executing a search warrant even broke into his safe. The DOJ has accelerated its investigation into the January 6th attack on the Capitol and further examined Trump's actions to overturn the 2020 election results to reign in power, according to the Hill. So, civil war? What?
I don't think so. I think that this has been planned for 100 years. I'm not talking about the raid on Trump. I'm talking about technocracy and the military. The military part of it came in the 40s and 50s with the opportunity after World War II to establish global dominance. But like the Federal Reserve, they really want to control the environment. This is just another stepping stone as far as I'm concerned.
I think it's a very scary development. I thought at first people who said if Donald Trump gets indicted or if he gets prosecuted for alleged insurrection, we would be having some sort of violence in the streets. I no longer feel this hyperbole. This is very scary. You know, for the entirety of Trump's presidency, Hillary referred to the election of 2016 as having been stolen. She called Donald Trump illegitimate to the point where 67% of Democrats, according to a YouGov poll, believe that the Russians changed vote tallies in 2016 to get Donald Trump elected. Jay Johnson, the Department of Homeland Security Secretary, testified under oath. The Russians tried, but they failed to change a single vote tally in 2016. Yet a supermajority of Democrats believe that they did. 78% of Democrats believe the Russian interference changed the outcome of the election. And Jay Johnson testified, we don't know. We'd have to have a world where there was interference and one where there wasn't and compare the two. Since we can't do that, we just don't know. But 78% of Democrats, according to a Gallup poll, believe the Russian interference changed the outcome of the election. In other words, a greater percentage of Democrats believe 2016 was stolen. The Republicans feel the same thing about 2020. Hillary joined a lawsuit, Jill Stein, to overturn the Wisconsin election and filed a separate motion to have the recount done by hand. Nobody calls her a purveyor of the big lie. Her social media platforms have not been shut down, even though she said, as I said, for 4 years, Donald Trump is an illegitimately elected president. It's a double standard that slaps you in the face. Hillary skated when she clearly violated the Espionage Act. She had a private server in her basement. She got and received secured information, classified information, lied about it, and skated. And the law does not require any intent. But James Comey did this big presentation. At the end of it, he said, but she lacked the intent. The statute does not require intent. She skated. This is a double standard, and it's outrageous. And there might very well be violence in the streets now because of this.
There's a couple ways I think we can look at it depending on how you want to give the benefit of the doubt to Democrats. Donald Trump was very passively looking into the Ukraine dealings of the Biden family. For doing such, he was accused of trying to dig up dirt on his political rival just before the upcoming election, even though Joe Biden had not announced nor even hinted that he would be running for president. I mean, this is like a year and a half before he made his announcement at all. They impeached Donald Trump for this. Right. We do have evidence of potential malfeasance. I should say Joe Biden did a quid pro quo with the president of Ukraine, fire the prosecutor, or you're not getting the $1 billion loan guarantee. And they said, well, it was in line with foreign policy. That's not the point. The vice president doesn't have the authority to make these threats. Right. As it happens, his son was on the board of Burisma. Burisma's founder was being investigated by that prosecutor who ended up getting fired because of Biden. Now, you could argue the Democrats are looking at that and genuinely believing that's what Trump was doing. And this is what we've seen from them. They've repeatedly said you have to play the game the Republicans are playing. If they really believe that's what Trump did, then this is a tit for tat. Or we can operate under the assumption they're hypocrites and liars. They accused Trump falsely and then are now doing exactly what they claimed he was doing.
And of course, Hunter Biden and Joe Biden are getting a complete pass so far. Joe Biden has said repeatedly he knew nothing at all about his son's business dealings. They got the laptop. The laptop was dismissed as Russian disinformation by 51 so-called intelligence operatives right before the election. 16% of Biden voters believe that had they known about this story, they would not have voted for Biden. And
6%, right?
16%.
16%
16% of Biden voters say had they known about the Hunter Biden laptop story, which was suppressed by Twitter, suppressed by Facebook, they would not have voted for Joe Biden. Clearly, the election then would have been in favor of Donald Trump. And Donald Trump's referred to as the big guy getting 10% on the laptop, and Joe Biden, Hunter Biden, complaining that his dad gets half of all.
You mean Hunter Biden?
Hunter Biden referred to his father as
Right.
the big guy,
Right.
and the big guy gets 10%.
And they've done this again.
And if you watch CNN, you watch MSNB, what I call MSNB hee haw. It's like this story doesn't even exist. But on Sunday, even Brian Stelter of CNN, their media guy, even he said this is not just a right wing story. It is something that's very serious and could jeopardize Biden's presidency.